Are you looking for a way to make nightmares? In the previous video, I showed a method of how to get the TF2 guys into Blender, and I'm going to show you how to do that again quickly and point out all the flaws as I do it. So I imported an MDL of Scout, and he had some missing textures. For his head, I had to turn down the slider on his texture every time. I had to separately import his eyes every time, and I had to remove all of his attachment empties every time. It's because the models were so unoptimized. Like, they were full of triangles and separated faces. It's really easy to fix this, you just need to select everything and do tries to quads and merge by distance. But the point is that I had to do this every time. Anytime I wanted to use a TF2 character in anything, I would have to do all of those things. They would only take about 3 minutes to do, but that time adds up. But then I had an idea. What if I just do all of them in their own file, and then I can just import them when I need them? Genius. And while I was setting everything up, you know, finishing the current video I was working on, I was watching this guy's videos, Crazy Scout Fin. I love this guy. I was watching a tutorial by him on how to animate in Gmod. I don't have Gmod, but it was still an interesting video. Anyway, in that video, there was a part where he was showcasing facial animation stuff, and I noticed an absolute slew of things you could do. I mean, there's so many compared to the normal like 30 to 40 with the models I showed. So I came to a logical conclusion that Gmod just has way more facial settings than SFM. And I was thinking, hey, wouldn't it be a good idea to include all the advanced versions of the TF2 guys in the blend file as well? Spoilers, yes. So I went to a nifty little place called the internet, and found a website that I could download all of the Gmod TF2 guys from. Great, I thought, there's only 9 of them and they barely have any faces, so this won't take too long to download. 15 gigabytes and an hour later, I finally have them, as well as all of the sound effects in the game, hundreds of models, and all of their respective materials. I don't need these! It's fine though, because a lot of them are actually really cool, like the briefcase and literally every prop and two-fort. Anyway, when I finally found the TF2 guy's models, I imported a Scout and he already had all of his materials. No missing head texture, no missing eyes, it's perfect. This is going to save me so much time. Unfortunately, he didn't have any of the advanced facial settings, but I don't really... Wait a minute. When I was importing our Scout here, there was something I noticed. I remember from various other videos that the normal models in Gmod aren't that good, and you got to use the hardware models. And there just so happens to be a folder called HWM, hardware models. There was one of those in the old models folder that I used to use, but I tried it and I don't think there was any difference. Anyway, I imported a Scout into Blender from the hardware models folder, and looked at the shape keys and... yeah, look at that, we got all the facial settings. By the way, I'm not just going to have this be it, there's a lot I want to change. First of all, I'm going to be optimizing all of them. Tries to quads and merge by distance for everyone, and everything will be neatly sorted together and named properly. Then, I'm going to replace the weird shader thing with just a principal BSDF, and match it to what it was. Also, I'm going to include both red and blue variations, and it's really easy to switch them using this mix RGB as 0 or 1 for red and blue. It'll also have all the displacement maps ready to go, and everything will be nicely wrapped up with frames and labels. That'll be most of the changes, but I'm also going to ever so slightly change some of the shape keys, just because some of them don't do anything or are incorrectly labelled. Either that or I want extra options for asymmetry and funny things. So I'm just going to do that and I'll be right back. Okay, I finally finished it. After all this time, it's done. And as you can see, there's no unnecessary keys, and they're all correctly labelled. Also, if it has a plus next to it, that means it's one that I've specifically made from scratch. And it's just things like separate controls for the left and right parts of their face. And finally, if it looks really unorganized, then there's a drop down that you can click, and there's a button that will sort it by alphabetical order. So you're going to want to click that. And now it's time for some funnies. First, I'm going to import these into a new project. The way to get these models into your own scenes is very simple. Just go into the scene you want them in, then go File, Append, and go to where the TF2 guys blend file is saved and double click it. Then go into Collections and select who you want to be in it. But don't click on any of the ones that has the word parts in it, because then it will be missing some things. So just double click the collection of the TF2 guy you want in your scene, and they'll be there in all their glory. If you want all of them, then you can just click on the Simple or Advanced Models collection. Just a heads up, by the way, if you want to scale, move or rotate them in any way, shape or form, just do it with the armature, not the actual model. Don't worry why, it's just it won't work properly. Yeah, you really can make some abominations with this. By the way, you can get this blend file in the description of this video. There's just a Google Drive link where you can download it. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that wraps up the video. I don't think I have to talk about anything else. So like and subscribe, and hit the bell so you'll never miss a video and you'll always be up to